So last week we talked about Shabbat Parah, the Shabbat of the red heifer, this winding path that leads us to Passover. This Shabbat is called Shabbat HaChodesh, the Shabbat of the Shabbat for the month, because next week the month of Nisan begins, the month that holds the holiday of Pesach, the holiday of Passover, the month that is actually the first month of the year. The suggestion from back in Leviticus that when we march to freedom, that's when time begins. Time starts when we set cruelty and violence and persecution and hardship to the side and we march forward toward a new day, a new dawn, towards a new counting. And I know that Rabbi Shira was a moon watcher, and that means many of you are now moon watchers. And you know that a new month, Rosh Chodesh, begins at a new moon. And a new moon is empty. A new moon is empty. The sky is dark. But our festivals, our holidays, they appear at the middle of the month. And the middle of the month is a full moon. And the genius of Torah, the genius of our tradition. In addition to imagine when you didn't have electricity, a new moon meant that you could stay up and party longer. When the Israelites leave Egypt, they huddle together in their homes, having painted the lamb's blood on their doors, eating their matzah, eating the roasted lamb, with their staff in their hand, their sandals on their feet, ready to leave. When it's time to go, it's the middle of the night. It should be dark. It should be pitch black outside. The pitch black that's not nighttime in Westchester, but when you're up at camp or you're going hiking, that kind of dark, middle of the night. But when Israel left Egypt in the middle of the night, it was the 14th of Nisan, and it was a full moon. The sky was illuminated. When it should have been dark, when we left 400 years of servitude and bondage and oppression, the sky was lit up, helping us march the way forward. Our holidays don't just fall on the full moon because it makes for a longer night of celebrating. It's a theological insistence that though there is darkness, and though it feels like there is so much darkness, as we said last week, La Yehudim haita ora kein tia lanu. For the Jewish people there shall be light, and so too may it be for us. We know, for these 6 months, but for what's felt like many years, there's been a heaviness, a weight, it feels like so much darkness, so much hardship and fear and anger and worry and sorrow and doubt. La Yehudim haita ora, when it's time for us to leave Egypt, to leave Mitzrayim, the narrow place, the place where we feel tight and constricted, towards Merchav Yah, the sacred expanse. Even though it might be the middle of the night, the moon will be full and the sky will be bright. There's light. We don't know when, but we know that even in the midst of a time of darkness, soon we'll march forward together towards an opportunity for light. And so we spend this Shabbat and these next weeks, this Shabbat HaChodesh, when Nisan begins, and we know Pesach is around the corner, not just getting the feather and the candle and the spoon and cleaning up the chametz, not just clearing the shelves of Wegmans of every product you can find. There's work to do to get ready for that moment. There's work to do to, as we say at Hanukkah, Banu choshech ligaresh. We come to banish darkness for our seasons of joy and miracles and celebration. We are not a people who sits and dwells in the dark. We're a people who joins hands and stands together to march towards freedom and towards light. It's not easy, But that's the sacred task of the moment. That's the work, to find those who want to join hands with us, to march towards freedom, to make miracles and see the sea split, to move from the place of narrow constriction towards merchavia, towards the sacred expanse, and build a world worthy of the legacy and the history that we inherit. Nisan's a good month. There is sweetness and joy and moist, flourless chocolate cake just on the horizon. I like sinkers. I like a cannonball for a matzo ball. We know what's coming. There's work we have to do, and then we'll stand together and march towards the light. I hope for you that as we approach Pesach, that it's a holiday, a month, a year for you and the people you love of meaning and purpose, of freedom, of sacred expanse, and mostly a year of light.